this is recording already. So hi everyone, this is Cris from Landbot. You might think, what exactly is this? Well, we thought that every day we receive videos and articles and a lot of content related to this lockdown and how people are experiencing it. So we thought it would be interesting, like from the inside, to get the chance to talk to different Landbot members, but also users and customers, members of our family that want to share their story, how they're living this confinement, what they're doing differently, how they're feeling. So yeah, we just want to have a very open session. Yeah, I think Pedro is already waiting to join, so let me invite him. All right. Now with Zoom, we need to admit each participant, as you might know. So yeah, there he is. Hi, Pedro.
What's up, Cris?
Yeah, I was sort
How
of
you doing,
introducing.
man?
I'm doing great, thanks, man. I was just trying to explain what exactly is this, and it's not nothing in particular. What I was saying is that, well, we came up with this idea of just bringing Landbot team members together, but also users, customers, anyone who's interested in going beyond what's a lockdown and how sad we all are, and focus more on regular things, day-to-day things we can share with the audience, questions we may want to ask ourselves or other members of the team or the community. And yeah, we just thought it would be great to have these sort of short video sessions with, in this case, with two members of the Landbot team. And yeah, if you want to introduce yourself, I haven't introduced myself, but you can go ahead.
No, definitely. I mean, hi everyone. I'm Pedro. No, it was definitely a thing that, I mean, I think we can relate, all of us right now, and it's perhaps one of the first times in history that we can all relate to everyone somehow, right? So it's like we're all, or most of us, working remotely, lockdown, in a need of adapting to a new life, actually. So it's like, I was talking with a friend one of these days. He actually works fully remote, but he was saying, it's like it's not the same thing, man. It's not the same thing. I can book some time on my calendar when I go shopping, when I go for a walk, when I go to the gym. But I can't do that. It's like I'm suffering as much as you are. And I told him, I'm not suffering, man. It's like I'm dealing pretty well with this. Though there are some ups and downs, obviously. But yeah, it's been challenging.
Yeah, I think that what you mentioned about the how people relate to other people during this confinement, and I think that's key. I mean, we got people from all across the globe. Like, we're based in Barcelona, but we got employees from like 15 different countries. And yeah, I mean, every time you have a meeting with a customer, with a user, with a partner, with anyone, and you see their living room or their bedroom, or you see your favorite TV star or your favorite athlete, and it's not like you're trying to dress like them or you're trying to wear the clothes they wear, or things like that. It's like you can see they're actually going through the exact same thing, and I think that's ultra powerful. So yeah, I think this is a very, very, very unique scenario. We'll probably won't live anything like this in the future again, or maybe we do, but hopefully not. But I think it sort of helped us understand that we're all equal. Like, it doesn't really matter where you live, doesn't really matter how much things you have, or what's your job like, or how cool your office is. You're still at your home, you're working from there, you're living from there, you're engaging with your family and friends from there. And I think that's the dark magic behind all these situations. And I personally love it. Like, I think that I truly engage with, I mean, the people around me. I can look at the mirror and I can see someone, my neighbor, which in a regular day we wouldn't look at each other, but now we just say hi, how you doing, good morning. And it's this
definitely.
this sort of feeling that's that's very, very interesting.
Yeah, you can definitely, everyone can empathize much more with the other person, and there's a bigger sense of compassion as well, right? And one of the things that I felt was like, and that I always thought is like, sometimes, and I'm a positive guy and optimistic as well. So I always think that our best ideas come to us when we're working with constraints, right?
Hmm.
And we've seen in Landbot and outside and other companies as well, adapting to this new phase of our lives. And you see a lot of brilliant ideas, a lot of initiatives coming into being coming into being as a result of people being in isolation around the globe,
Hmm.
right? I was actually it was interesting reading an article um, where they were mentioning some of these initiatives and some of these ideas that people are putting together. For example, in London, there are local councils that are
Hmm.
calling at-risk elderly to ask if they need groceries or medicines delivered. I'm part of a community of neighbors as well through an app where you can, they have started actually, that app started a newsletter to keep communities or community informed and together. There are neighbors dropping care packages
Hmm.
at the doors of vulnerable neighbors, and that's like it's amazing, and I never saw people coming together such as nowadays. It's really
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah, I just reminded something. Let me go for it. It's right here.
Hmm.
This is so true. I mean, this is a note I've received from my neighbor, like next door. And he's like, it's in Spanish, but he's like, hey, you want to join the neighbors WhatsApp group? Send me a message to these phone numbers. Like, this is probably something that would have been impossible. Like, I just sent it, in the door this morning, and it's like probably in a regular situation I wouldn't have like exchanged so much with a community. I mean, just the building where we live together. But at the end of the day, you realize that, well, if you need something, you probably can't go anywhere but, to the next door, to the neighbor from below. And yeah, this sort of things are the ones that, make you smile and think that there's some hope in mankind. And yeah, I love this sort of initiatives. This is a very small thing. What you mentioned was a bit
It's
more
amazing.
transcendental, but at the same time, it's pretty magical.
Yeah, it is. And one of the things that I constantly think about is, and I mean, these few weeks is like I'm kind of liking this sort of, it's not the lockdown, obviously no one likes, but I like this this sense of community, that we see. Even the people here, maybe some people don't know, but in Spain at 8 o'clock p.m., people are coming to their balconies, just
Hmm.
clapping their hands, to support the healthcare people working tirelessly in the front line. And those applauses are getting to them because they are coming out of the hospitals,
Hmm.
to communicate somehow with their applauses as well. And I constantly think, how's it gonna be after this? When we start uh,
Hmm.
going out, are we gonna be, I mean, forget about the social distancing and all that stuff, right? Um, but is hate or love gonna prevail? You know what I mean? It's like,
Hmm.
are we gonna be more in one side or the other, or what's gonna happen? Are we gonna be frustrated because we can't have the same life we used to have, or is this sense of community, this sense of positive vibes, are they prevail? Are they gonna
Hmm.
prevail? That's one thing. What do you think, man?
Well, I think that I get different opinions on these. On the first hand, I would say that we will feel thankful. Like I picture myself going to a park in a couple of months from now, or going to the beach, or things like that. And realizing how important simple things are. But at the same time, I probably think that human being is the way it is, and it's the same time. I mean, when you hit the lotto, for instance, that you're happy for like 2 3 months, and then you feel at the same level of happiness as you previously were. But I think this has been so big and so global that the next time I see my neighbor, or I see someone in the next building, with their children, just, enjoying the sun, I might wave my hand and I might say, hey, I remember we've been through this together. We don't know each other. We don't know each other's name, but at the same time, we all been through this together. And I think that's brutal. I mean, it's so common. I mean, every single person on earth has experienced it. So I really hope that when this ends, people will realize how important it is to work together, how important it is to understand that if we act as a group, we can achieve anything. Like this is probably the first time in history where billions of people, like literally billions of people, are on the same page, and I think that's super powerful. Excuse the noise, by the way. I think there's some truck going down my street.
No worries. Probably you hear some birds, or maybe my son can walk down out the door. That's one of the things of being at home right now.
Yeah. How is it going, by the way, with your kid? Like you got a kid. I think that you'll be able to walk him out starting Sunday or something like that. At least here in Spain. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. I mean, man, it's amazing. It's a really small step, but it's great because I really think it's suffer a lot, And one of the things my kid mentioned to me one of these days that I felt like, gee, you're right, man. But I really don't know how to answer you. It's like he was telling me, how come I can't go out? It's not my fault, right? Because it's like it made me think, It's like it's nobody's fault actually, but in the beginning he took it like okay, so I can't do that just because I can't, just because my dad is saying I can't. And I tried to, there's like a story for kids about the COVID-19, about the coronavirus, and with that circle with the thingies coming out, and with a pretty face, which actually is it's not so pretty, but anyways, for the kid was interesting, that story. And it explained him in the words of a kid, in the world of a kid. And it seemed pretty cool in the beginning, and he felt curious and stuff like that. But it's hard when your kid tells you, it's like, I miss my friends, I want to go to school. And my son is 5 years old. It's like it's an age that is becoming grown up, but it's not yet. So it's hard to deal with that. But is doing some tasks that actually the teachers from the school are being a great help, sending resources and connecting also on a video conference to try to check up on each kids and make sure that they all at least make visual contact with each other, even if it can be terrible, like a real mess, having all the kids without knowing how to mute themselves and talking at the same time, but at least they have fun. But yeah, it's like, it's a bit difficult, and it's difficult for us parents, because we also are adapting ourselves to make sure that, and that was a struggle for me, making sure that I was booking time on my calendar to just to play a bit with my son, because he was in need. Otherwise, what am I going to do? Put him in front of the TV full day? No, that's not going to happen. So I think there's time for everything, and I also need to find a routine on my calendar to match the work life balance that Landbot allows us to, and that I definitely need to take as something very very powerful. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be great to be able to go out at least for a walk, with him, so that he can see how things are outside are, and see with his own eyes. Because sometimes I think he doesn't believe me, when I tell him everything is closed. It's like only supermarkets, but bars, forget about it. It's like the parks, you can't go to the park, they're really closed. And sometimes he gets angry with me, like he believes that I'm I'm telling him a lie, but it's not. It's like obviously it's this sense of frustration because you want to go out. And one of the things that I mean, fortunately, I have a balcony. I have a terrace above with big space, so I can take his bike, his skate. He can just play around, and he has space. And we're lucky, but there are people that are struggling a little bit more because they live in houses that don't allow this. Right, I think in nowadays it's a luxury actually. So yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah,
Let's see
absolutely.
how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, we are in the same situation, but at the same time, it's obviously different. Like, if you get a family of six, for instance, you compare it to myself. I'm living this lockdown with my girlfriend alone and my cat, and that's it. And I got some small terrace too, but some other people don't have this space. I think that many people are like discovering their rooftops these days. Like I see a lot of Instagram stories with people like, I got a rooftop, I got a rooftop. Like they're all trying to
Yeah,
go to the top of
I
their
had
building.
neighbors. I had neighbors that didn't know that we had a terrace, right?
And now
And
they
it's
do,
like,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
they try
exactly. So I think that
to explore.
yeah. So yeah, it really depends on how you're living this. I mean, from my personal perspective, every time I go out to go to the supermarket, like every 4 to 5 days, to me, I mean, I don't really like going out. Like for me, it's not like that time where, yeah, I finally can go out, even if it's just 5 minutes to go to the supermarket, because the conditions are so different. Like you're wearing that thing, you see nobody else, you only see police cars, and everything is empty, and everything is pretty depressing, to be honest. So for me, I mean, the lockdown, being able to go out during the lockdown, it's probably not as effective as, you know, being disciplined and well, ending this lockdown as soon as possible. I mean, this is just my personal opinion, but every time I go to the supermarket and I come back home, I mean, if I forget something, I'm gonna get mad. Like, I don't want to go out again. It's so depressing. Like, you need to wear the gloves and everything, and I just want to be at home until this all passes, and then I can just go out. But obviously, it really depends on how you are.
Yeah, it's challenging. I think it's the word. It's challenging. Because going out, it doesn't give you much freedom at all, right? It's like you're going out because you need to go out to do something. It's not that you go out to enjoy the nature or right. You can barely
Exactly.
walk around. You can just walk 1 kilometer, perhaps, and that's talking about taking the kids out. It's going to be a kilometer out from our place, so it's not that much,
Hmm.
But well, yeah, we need to make sure we need to be trust at least that what we're doing is something that it's gonna help us and everyone else. So um, that's the that's I think that's the thing. And one thing that's curious is it's like, for example, I mean, we're lucky that we have our work, and we're working, and part of our day is actually dedicated to our job, which is amazing. But there are a lot of people, a lot of businesses that unfortunately had to close doors, or they're at home in an most of them in a very very frightful situation. uh, you know
Yeah,
you have
yeah, we can.
any friends on that situation, or any people on that situation that you heard from?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, luckily not my my closest circle, but I do get some friends and some members of my family that are struggling a bit more than we are. Like we're super lucky. We repeat that to ourselves every single day. I mean, for you watching us, like every time we do like this whole hands meeting with the whole company, we're super lucky like to be able to keep the whole team. And not only that, like we're super focused, super motivated. Our results are going really well given the global crisis. So yeah, I think we need to remember all that all those people that don't really get this opportunity. Like we're a global SaaS company. We're super used to remote working, but the reality for 95% of Spaniards, it's not like that. So I can't picture my day without having a job, without spending like 12, 14 hours in front of the computer, which is sometimes a bit too much, but at the same time, it keeps it keeps your mind focused on something, so you don't think about being alone or not being able to do this or that. And but every person has its own situation. I think that one of the most one of the best things of being in the lockdown is probably how much you save. So let's talk about the positive things. I don't know if you experience this, but you check your bank, and it's like, wow, that's the same amount it was 10 days ago. And that's probably the best way of being in lockdown. Like, you realize how much you spend on things you don't really need, because you go to the supermarket, you make this super big buys, and then you get food, you get drinks, you get everything you need to survive, and you realize how much you overexpend, and you don't really need that. So that's also something that's curious about this sort of situation.
No, definitely. And one of the things I was talking to my wife, and I was telling you, it's like we're gonna give ourselves a big gift because we at least we can put some money beside, that we're not spending. We're not going to the bars, we're not enjoying outdoors. It's like, you don't spend much money besides buying stuff, or having the possibility to buy a book from Amazon, or some music,
pajamas, because we spend all day in our pajamas.
Exactly.
That's basically
yeah, that's actually one of the things that we consume the most, perhaps. So
yeah, definitely
we need to buy more. But yeah, it's like you don't go outdoors, so you don't spend that much. And I think one of the things that we and most of Spanish people start realizing that it's going to be stuff for everyone in the supermarkets. No need to buy all the stuff to put it in the bunker. That's not going to happen. So there are provisions for everyone. So that thing that also I think helped everyone understanding that we're not in a war situation, because the word war is being used like so many times. I can understand, but I think it's a little bit a bit strong word to use in a situation like this. We have a virus, we have a pandemic situation, and that's it. It's not a war at all. I think we would be able to. We will be more prepared to fight a war than to fight
I think
this.
I think it's like more comparable to a zombie apocalypse or something like that than a war. Actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. All right. So I think it was super interesting, these talks. As I was saying in the beginning, this is very natural. We don't have anything prepared. We just want to share, things in a conversation with a teammate and a friend in this case, but with all of you also. So we'd love to know what you think about this format. If you find it interesting, if you want to ask us anything, you can drop a comment, drop a line, and we'll be more than happy to answer. And we'd love to hear also how you're experiencing all these from your country, from your city. How does it work? How is it with your personal life? Yeah, I think this is just something new we're exploring. We don't really have any milestone or any goal. We just want to share things, and that's basically it.
Yeah, show the faces behind the bots, right?
Exactly.
Like, we just wanted to share something that we felt some people that might be curious enough to look at this recording, that actually may identify themselves with how I'm living, or how Cris is living. It's like like what we said in the beginnings, like we're all on the same boat for the first time in history, and definitely there are a lot of things that we will share, and there's actually some stories that will help or hopefully help others. And if if we have someone joining us, I don't know, or asking us something or giving us advices, that would be extremely helpful, because I think we're learning and more open to learning more than any other time. So
yeah. I just want to say, last but not least, I want to share with the world the most influential person when it comes to a lockdown, the one you can learn more from, and that's obviously your cat. I mean, they live in a lockdown, so
there it is.
Yeah, if you got some questions about how to live this situation, you can ask your cat, because they're pretty used to it. Say hi, Mr. West.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, Mr. West. Yeah, and even with the social distancing, right?
Exactly.
I have a cat too, and it's like they just come over you when they want. It's not when you want them to. Oh man, cool.
All
this
right.
was really great.
Yeah, thanks for your time, Pedro.
Thanks to you for calling me as well. And yeah, let's say bye to everyone. Let's stay in touch.
Enjoy your weekend. Bye bye.
You too, man. Bye bye.